I'm going to show you how to take the gas tanks off these Honda 1100's. It's really pretty simple, and you want to take the emblems off and drain the fuel and stuff out while the gas tank is on the bike. It's much easier to do that than try to move it around on a bench. So anyway, to take the emblems off the side, I don't really know the best way to go about this. I've just kind of pried these off and I left the adhesive on the tank. I'm going to let my, that wheel's turning there. I'm going to let my painter worry about that residue left on the tank from the emblem. So I would just Google that and maybe go on YouTube, and there's all kinds of ways to remove those. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you how to drain the gas tank first before we take it off. Okay, the first thing we want to do is make sure the fuel petcock is in the off position, and then you have this little clamp here. Just squeeze that and slide that down, and then we'll go ahead and show you how to pull that fuel line off there. Sometimes they're really stubborn and hard to get off, so what you do is you take a screwdriver or something and just pry it at the top there, and it'll help that slide down, that fuel line slide down, so you can start getting it off the petcock there. Once you slide that down, then you should be able just to pull it off. A little bit of gas will come out, but don't worry about that. You can put some rags here and it'll catch that little bit of gas that comes out. And then we want to put something in this fuel line after we get the tank off to make sure we don't get something down in that fuel line and to block the carburetor. Now you can go ahead and slide a rubber hose over the petcock here and run it into a gas can. Make sure you turn this to the reserve position to get all the gas out of the tank. If you leave it just on the on, it'll leave some in there. So put it to the reserve position, and that should drain the tank pretty well. There'll still be some residue left in there, and you'll have to let that kind of dry out before you have the tank painted. But be real careful with this. Gasoline is really flammable, so don't spill the gas all over the floor or something. And then if on the rags, make sure you take those outside. Don't leave them inside, because a rag saturated with gasoline left in a corner can start on fire. So be real careful with that. Next, we want to remove the screw, washer, and bushing that holds the back of the gas tank on right here. And this is what it looks like. There's a screw and a big washer, and then there's the bushing. The bushing's in the center of the rubber grommet there. You want to take that out so you don't lose it, and put these in a place where this won't roll off the bench or something. We're going to put this back in there once we take the tank off so we don't lose this. Oh, I forgot to mention too, put a towel over your gas tank. It'll keep it from getting scratched or dented while you take these screws out. Okay, remove the screw in the front here. This is the front of the tank here. And this is what this one looks like. It's just a screw, machine screw. And then it has this like a shoulder bushing on it. So take those out. And then there's one more thing we have to do before we can lift this tank off the bike. There's a vent line that goes up in the bottom of the tank on the right back corner here. So you can lift up the back of the tank to see the line. This is it after I pulled it off. And it has a little keeper on it. You can get some pliers and squeeze it and kind of twist it, and it should come off. Twist it as you pull it off, and then it should pop off pretty easily there. Now we can lift the tank off. The tank on this Arrow lifts right off with no resistance. I think some of the bikes have a little kind of like a rubber seal that goes around the frame there that kind of makes it kind of a little sticky taking it off. But it should lift off. Just work it off carefully, and that should come off with no problem. Okay, there you have it. I'm going to put the screws back in the frame, this one and the one up front. Go ahead and reinsert those in there. Just finger tight them. You don't want to lose those things, and that way you know where they're at. And then do me a favor and put something in that fuel line right there. I just put a bolt down in there just to keep the debris from going down in that line, and you don't want to get something stuck in that carburetor. And there you have it. Reverse the process to put the tank back on the bike.